Hey Tone Addicts, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, it's really awesome to have you here. Let's talk Van Halen again. I seem to be doing a lot of that lately on my channel. I love this album. Yeah, I'm gonna call this Carnal Knowledge so that my video doesn't get demonetized. Like I said, I really love this album. One of the reasons is because it was actually my introduction to Van Halen. Yep, I know, a little late to the party, but see, I got into hard rock music in like 1989, so I was still on my journey of discovery when this album was released, and I bought it and was totally blown away by it. And then I went and bought every single Van Halen album that came before it. Yeah, Zen Restored. Here's a cool little bit of EVH history. Eddie's first instrument wasn't even the guitar. Yeah, not at all. He started on piano at the age of 6 and was classically trained. Then moved to drums before finally finding his way to guitar when brother Alex took over the drum kit. Those piano chops definitely showed up in later songs like Jump and Right Now being from this very album which I am holding in my hands. Can you imagine though, he might never have picked up the guitar. What would the guitar world have looked like today? It's scary to even think about. So let's just not. Let's just not think about the version of the universe where Eddie Van Halen never picked up a guitar. So when the good folks over at Eventide said that they wanted to send me a Micropitch delay pedal, huge thanks and shout out to my buddy Patrick Flores over at Eventide, by the way, for doing that. He's the man. Well, my mind went straight to this album. That totally awesome rhythm tone was created using an Eventide harmonizer in the signal chain, creating that very cool chorus stereoized guitar sound, which you might have heard on my latest video actually. I actually used a Micropitch delay plugin for that and it sounded absolutely immense. If you haven't seen that video where I basically put stripes on my Wolfgang guitars, that's pretty epic by the way, then you can check it out after this video. But today I'm gonna build my very own dream Van Halen pedalboard. Hells yeah! And I'm gonna take you guys and girls along for the ride. Let's get going because I want to get this done. I want to play this pedalboard because, hey, it's Van Halen stuff, man. And I have Frankenstrat strapped to me. Gotta do some Van Halen. Let's do this. Let's dive right into it. Right, first thing I needed was a pedal board. The folks over at VANGOA Pedalboards had reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to check out their pretty awesome pedal board. And seeing that I was gonna do this build, I reached back and said, yeah, let's do this, and thank you so much. They very kindly sent over this really awesome pedal board. It's made of pretty sturdy aluminium, or if you're in the USA, aluminum, and it has a built-in power supply. Yeah, right here. Now that really appealed to me because it will make this whole build much easier to do and quicker to get all the connections done. External power supplies are super cool and all, but if it's built in, it's just cleaner, I think, and I love the idea of it, to be honest. So yeah, this was a really good choice for a pedal board. I also really dig that it has these LED lights right at the top here, and they actually light up when you play guitar. Yeah, the other thing I really dig about the VANGOA package as a whole is that this pedalboard comes with a really awesome padded carry case. Even has a shoulder strap on it. Inside the package you get all the Velcro, the power supply, and also all of the power connectors to your pedals as well. It's a really great package. I really dig this. So huge shout out and thank you to the awesome folks over at VANGOA for sending this out to me. Check them out on their website and on Amazon as well because this thing is really super cool. The heart and soul of any guitar rig has to be the amp. amp. Eddie used various amps over his illustrious career, from Marshalls to Soldanos to his own signature 5150 amps. For this build, I'm going to use the Universal Audio Lion 68. This is the amp engine. Why did I go for this one? Well, besides the fact that it is freaking incredible, it gives me the most options for sounds. Here's a cool little bit of trivia. You know how everyone talks about Eddie's brown sound? Well, that term actually started with Alex Van Halen's snare sound, but the guitar community loved it so much that they actually started using it to describe Eddie's early Marshall tones too. Now, I could have gone with the 5150 pedal or even the Soldano tones with my Soldano SLO Plus pedal, which is incredible by the way. Eddie actually used Soldanos on the Carnal Knowledge album, so it would have fit. But then I couldn't have gotten the authentic, classic Marshall era Eddie sounds. The Lion 68 has the brown amp built right into it, bonus, as well as the EVH cab tone with the Celestian Greenback and the JBL D120F speaker combination. By the way, what's your favorite Eddie tone era? Early Marshall days, 5150, Soldano, or something else? Drop it in the comments below. Alrighty, now we're getting somewhere. On to the boost, because we need more gain. More is more, right? Now, I have literally a small museum's worth of overdrive and boost pedals in my studio here. Honestly, I'm not even joking. It's not even funny anymore. Anyways, out of my vast collection, I contemplated two different boost pedals. The Catlin bred Epoch Boost, which is an Echoplex preamp in a pedal, which Eddie Van Halen actually used. He used an Echoplex preamp into his Marshall. Yeah, and it boosted the amp. And also the Friedman Buxom Boost, because I have used both of these pedals on my Brown Sound video a few months ago, and they sounded totally sick. Yeah, it gave me that Van Halen vibe. I was thinking of adding both to the pedalboard, but then I decided not to for two reasons. First, the pedalboard real estate. If I add both of them, then it's a bit of a squeeze to get all the pedals that I want onto the pedal board. The second reason is because the Lion 68 pedal already has an Echoplex preamp boost built right into the pedal. Yeah, there is a boost in there, which is actually a combination of the Echoplex boost and an EQ boost as well, which is pretty awesome. So I can just use that. Yay! And so it makes sense just to add the Friedman Buxom boost. It's a great pedal with an insane amount of clean boost and an EQ to boot as well, which I can switch in if I need to shape my tone even further. This will also get me into the higher gain realms if I want a more Soldano 5150 style of tone. So this needs to go into the pedal board now. Now, no EVH pedalboard is complete without a phaser pedal. It is essential to the whole EVH vibe and sound. I have three different phaser pedals in the studio here. A custom Phase 90 pedal that I built some years ago. This is a great pedal because it has a depth control on it and it has three different modes on it as well. It can do the script era phaser sound, which is the 1970s original phase sound which Eddie Van Halen used. It can also do the block era, which is from, I think, the 1980s. It's a little bit more intense, and also it has a psych mode on it, which is totally wild and nuts and crazy and not in the least bit EVH. The obvious choice would be my MXR EVH Phase 90. This was an awesome Christmas present for my wife, and I totally love it. It is absolutely amazing. I've used it a few times and I'm just always blown away by the sounds. It has two modes on it. It has script mode on it and it has the block mode, which are obviously different eras and different sounds, so it can do both different vibes. But I would have loved to have a mode in between the script mode, which is pretty subtle, and the block mode, which can be a little bit intense, in the best possible way, of course. So what I did was I reached out to my friend Paul Flattley at Flattley Pedals. shout out for Paul, and I asked him if he could send me one of his Star Fazer pedals, which he very, very kindly did. Thank you so much, Paul. You are a superstar. This pedal is really awesome because it does similar tones to the MXR, but it also has a depth control on it so that I can dial in the phase tone very, very precisely. So I'm gonna go for this one for sure, but because I deleted the Epoch boost, I have space on the board to put the MXR on there too. Yeah, two different phases sounds, right? Totally Van Halen, I think anyways. What's your favorite Phase 90 moment in Van Halen's catalog? Let me know in the comments below. Now I did contemplate using my custom pedal as well because it has the bells and whistles and stuff on it, but this one seems to drop a little bit of signal, a little bit of the sound, so I'm gonna go with these two because they're gonna be much more consistent. I think that's a good choice. What do you think? Next up, we have to have a flanger for those Unchained and Ain't Talking About Love moments, right? Again, essential Van Halen tones, baby. And let's be honest, there really is only one choice here. I mean, it literally says EVH on it. So how could I use anything else? The MXR EVH flanger is absolutely genius because it sounds totally amazeballs and has that EVH switch on it that instantly gives you those classic Ain't Talking About Love and Unchained tones. My really good buddy Dan Lovett Horn, Dan is a brother to me, I love that guy, convinced me to get one of these, and man was he right. It sounds totally stunning, this pedal. I'm still scratching my head as to why I didn't get one sooner. Anyways, it's here now and I do dig this pedal. Thanks for the tip, brother, I so appreciate it. And by the way, go and check out Dan's awesome band Prometheum if you're a metalhead like I am. You will totally dig it, trust me. Now I'm coupling this beauty with an excellent little pedal by Bright Onion Pedals, who are right here in my hometown of Brighton, UK. Yay! It's called the Momentary Looper and it has a momentary switch on it that I can step on and hold while I need the effect. As soon as I take my foot off, the effect is gone from the signal path. No more clicking on and off, baby. Yeah, just press, hold, release, easy peasy. It is really cool. And if I want the effect on all the time, then on the other side it has a latch switch so that I can click it, the effect is on all the time, and that's it. I click it off when I want to turn it off. It's a twofer. This one is a twofer and I do love this pedal. It's very cool. Oakley dokley, I need some sexy clean tones as well, and for that I think I need a really awesome chorus. So I'm gonna go with another Paul Flattley pedal, the Valkyrie, which is insanely cool. If you've not seen my full video on this pedal where I created a Carnal Knowledge style EVH tone and full track, then go and watch that after this video, of course, because you want to see the full pedal board, right? Because this sounds insanely cool. It is ridiculously good. So good, it should be illegal, this pedal. Hey, if you're digging this pedal board build, then do me a huge favor and smash that subscribe button and hit the bell notification as well, because there will be more videos like this coming up and you won't want to miss them. Now for the whole reason I'm doing this video, the Eventide Micropitch delay pedal. Again, a huge thanks to Patrick over at Eventide for sending this to me. This is totally awesome. The stereoized guitar sound was something that evolved throughout Eddie's recordings, starting from the first album and developing into that huge spread we hear in later albums. Which era of Eddie's tone do you prefer, by the way? The early days or the later albums? Let me know in the comments, I would love to know. Eddie used an Eventide harmonizer from the early 80s to get that stereoized guitar sound. There was a little bit on 1984, like on Drop Dead Legs, you could totally hear it on that track, and then more so on 5150, OU812, Carnal Knowledge, Balance, etc. If you watched my mod video about my Sterling AX40, my 316 guitar, then you would have heard the tone on the clips I played of Runaround and Pound Cake. And likewise, when I did the Van Halen-inspired track on my EVH Wolfgang Stripes video, I used the stereoized Eventide sound as well. On both tracks I opted for the plug-in version of this pedal, and it sounded so excellent. I'm going to replicate that with this pedal and set it up in stereo and have it do a pitch delay of around -8 cents on the left hand side and about +8 cents on the right hand side. That creates that whole EVH stereo chorusy sound thing, and personally I love that sound. A pedal board is not complete without a delay pedal. I have to have a delay on my pedal board. It is the law. It is the low. Yeah. I'm gonna go with my Boss SDE 3000 EVH because it is the big daddy of delay pedals, and well, it says EVH on it, duh. I totally adore this pedal. I haven't used it much because I have an SDE 3000 plugin by Nembrini Audio, which I use on my clean guitar tones when I do my tracks. But this is such a total powerhouse of a delay unit. It sounds so lush and fat and beautiful, and it has EVH stripes on it, so I cannot leave it off the board. It has to go on. I will run this in stereo. In fact, I can even set this up in stereo, but with a third channel right in the middle, which is completely dry. I think that would be totally insane. I might actually try that out. The early Van Halen albums and Eddie's guitar tone was known for that amazing sunset sound chamber reverb. It created this whole pseudo stereo guitar sound by having Ed's guitar dry on the left channel, and then the stereo sound was created with just reverb panned to the right. Pretty genius. Well, it had been done before. Just listen to the intro to Led Zeppelin's Whole Lot of Love and you'll see what I mean. Jimmy Page was the man. We do need a reverb on the guitar sound, and I'm gonna go with this awesome Eventide Black Hole reverb, which again Eventide very kindly sent over to me to dial in some very lush reverb sounds. This pedal is capable of some really ambient and trippy reverb sounds, which probably won't be the norm for the EVH sound, but I'm definitely going to be experimenting with them. So there you have it, my dream Van Halen pedalboard build. This literally is what dreams are made of. I did a quick test to check it was all working, and it is, yay! There was one change that I had to make, which was to move the micropitch to after the SDE 3000. It just sounded better that way. Now I have to confess, I do have a little bit of noise from the pedalboard, and I did some unplugging and plugging, and I determined that it was this lovely momentary looper switch which I have on the board. It doesn't seem to have a ground lift on it, and it's creating a ground loop. So I will get that sorted. I will contact Bright Onion about that. But what a great pedal board. I love it. And its actual pedal board, the platform itself by VANGOA, it's awesome. It has all of the power built in and these LED lights which are blinking at the top. They're just so cool. I absolutely adore them, and it fit everything just about onto there. I had to squeeze things a little bit, but I got everything on there. Everything works as it should as well, and I'll give you a little walkthrough in a second of the entire pedal board and how it's all hooked in, because this runs in stereo. Yeah. And that is just super awesome. And you'll see exactly how I plugged everything in so that you guys can build your own EVH pedal board with the pedals that I have on here. Alrighty, let me show you how all this works. So my guitar, here's my cable, actually goes into the board back here. There's an input there, and right next to it is an output. This actually activates these LED lights, which are pretty cool. When I play, they turn on. So this output cable goes to the first pedal, which is the Star Fazer by Flattley Pedals. This is a really cool phaser pedal, and you'll hear it on the track. I actually used it on the rhythm part in the pre-chorus, and because it's got a depth control on it, I was able to dial up a little bit more, because the MXR was sounding great, but I needed a little bit more depth so that it would really come out. So this did an absolutely fantastic job. This then goes into the MXR Fazer, so I've got two phasers. Yay! Two phasers are better than one, right? Of course they are. So this gives me a script logo sound. I've got it set to the script logo, which is the 1970s version. The other function is the block logo, and that's a little bit deeper, but not as deep as what this sounds. So I have the two different flavors of phaser. This then goes into the Bright Onion momentary looper, which has the flanger in the loop there. So when I press this button, then it brings the flanger into the chain, and when I take my foot off, it actually takes the flanger out of the loop. And if I want the flanger on all the time, just click this and it stays on. This then goes into the amp block, so these two pedals. So the Buxom boost by Friedman, and this is a really cool boost. I've got it set to quite a lot of boost so that I can make this high gain basically. So this is basically a Marshall type sound, and I've got this set to the Brown sound and also the EVH cab, which they have an IR off built right into here. Okay, so then I go out of here, and this cable goes to the next pedal, which is the Flattley Valkyrie chorus, which is an awesome pedal. I use this on the cleanish sound that you'll hear on the track, and it's great. It sounds really good. Love this pedal. This then goes in mono into the Boss SD 3000 EVH, so just a single cable going out into there. Then this is where things get interesting, because you'll see two output cables there. So these two cables are going out from the left and right. So this works in stereo, and the left and right outputs go out of here via a TRS cable, and then they go into the Micropitch via this cable, which is the other end of the TRS. So this is actually like a stereo jack essentially. And then this pedal is actually set to stereo mode. You've got a mono and a stereo mode on this. So when you put it into stereo mode, it accepts a TRS jack, and then the left and right go into the pedal as well. So this is running properly in stereo. Again, we've got stereo coming out, left and right, and again it's a TRS cable, and that goes into the black hole. So the black hole is actually running in stereo as well. So we've got our cable coming in there, and this is again a TRS. So if I pull this out, you'll see it looks like a stereo jack. See, it's got the ring and the tip. So that's what makes it a TRS rather than just a mono jack. And then I've got two outputs going out from the black hole, and that goes via these three cables. Yes, there's three cables, and I'll show you why there's three cables in a second, into my audio interface. So we've got our left out and our right out. Now I said that there were three cables, right? Here's the third cable. It actually goes to the back of the SD 3000 because there is a dry output on that. So essentially I'm running a wet, dry, wet. How cool is that? That's the whole board. That's how it works. That's how it was wired up, And that's how I am going to record this. Let's do this. Alrighty, you know what's coming next, right? Yeah, it's time to put this rig through its paces on a full track. I know you want to listen to that full track, the clip of which you heard at the beginning of this video. Make sure you stick around, because in a second you're going to hear all the awesome tones and it's going to melt your face off. Trust me. Let me know in the comments section what you think of the tones as well, and which pedal caught your attention the most. I would love to know. I have to say, this SDE 3000 EVH into the Eventide Micropitch is just absolute pure EVH magic. I love this SDE unit. It sounds so damn good. And so does the Micropitch. It has that whole later years EVH thing going on, which is just so cool to play. If you've enjoyed hanging out and geeking out over this pedalboard build with me, you know what to do. That subscribe button is calling your name. So smash it right now and click the bell as well, because I'm sure there'll be more EVH videos coming along really soon. And hey, if you want to see more Van Halen contents by yours truly, then you can check out the playlist which I have created just for you guys. I will link it somewhere out there. Yeah, I've got to hold this thing. I don't want to drop it. So that you guys can go and check it out. Thanks so much for hanging out with me and watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Time to rock out to some Eddie inspired riffs and licks. Keep on rocking like you're on Atomic Punk. Woo! I'll catch you on the next video. Bye for now.